Hare Krishna, bro. Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome to our Tuesday evening Bhagavad Gita discussion. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घायते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरो दीनतारिणिं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरम्। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. Once again, welcome everyone to our Tuesday evening Bhagavad Gita discussion. So we are discussing chapter 6 of Bhagavad Gita. It is titled as the Dhyana Yoga, and it is also called Atam Sanyam Yoga. So mainly it focuses on the mind control, controlling the mind. So today we are going to discuss very important section of this chapter. Okay, and text 33 onwards. So in the previous text, Lord Krishna has spoken about the overall process of Ashtanga Yoga, coming to the stage of complete absorption on the Supreme Lord, okay? Focusing the mind on the Supreme Lord. And to be able to do that, one should cross all the previous stages, practically coming to the stage of being equal to everybody and seeing the Lord in everything and everything in the Supreme Lord. Now, after Krishna has spoken about all these things, about the importance of mind control and the overall process of Ashtanga Yoga, how to practice Ashtanga Yoga, what are the prerequisites, etc. Now, Arjuna, he summarizes the whole process, and basically Arjuna is claiming the impracticality of this Ashtanga Yoga process and difficulty in controlling the mind. So text 33 is spoken by Arjuna. Arjuna uvacha yoyam yoga tvaya prokta samyena madhusudana etashyamana pashyami chanchalavat sthitim sthiram. Arjuna said, O Madhusudana, the system of yoga which you have summarized appears impractical and undurable for me, for the mind is restless and unsteady. Chanchalat and Sthitim Sthiram. So these are the two qualities of the mind which Arjuna is saying here. The mind is restless and unsteady. So the process of yoga which we have described seems impractical and undurable. So far, as I said, Lord Krishna has spoken about practicing this Ashtanga Yoga. And for that, one need to control the mind. One need to become equipoised, develop equal vision for everything and everybody. Go to a secluded place, practice celibacy, sit down on one place, focus on the tip of the nose or on the eyebrow, things like that. So Lord Krishna has spoken all this. And first of all, Arjuna is saying the controlling the mind seems very difficult because mind is restless. And to develop that equal vision for everybody is very difficult. Equal vision towards friends, towards enemies. So Arjuna is thinking equal vision towards all our friends and relatives may be possible. If I have to develop equal vision towards Yudhishthira and toward Bhima, that is possible to some extent. But developing equal vision towards friends and enemies, how to do that? And how to maintain that for longer duration? Maybe for 1 day, 2 day, it's possible, but maintaining that equal vision towards everybody is not feasible. Like having equal vision towards Yudhishthira Maharaj and towards Duryodhana. So how to have that level of equal vision? So overall, this whole process of this practicing Ashtanga Yoga seems very difficult. So Arjuna has doubts about this Ashtanga Yoga's feasibility. Yeah, he is saying this process seems impractical because mind is uncontrollable. And then Krishna is going to answer Arjuna's this question because Arjuna is saying mind is uncontrollable, and in the next verse, Arjuna is going to give the further characteristics of the mind. And then Krishna answers, whatever you are saying is right. It's very difficult to practice this Ashtanga Yoga. It's very difficult to control the mind, but it's not impossible. It is possible by the practice and detachment, abhyas and vairagya. So we'll discuss that one. So here, overall, in this verse, Arjuna has spoken about the impracticality, and then text 34 is the most quoted verse here in this chapter of mind control because Arjuna is talking about the characteristics of the mind. Okay. So, characteristics of the mind means we need to understand, first of all, what is the nature of the mind. And then, if mind is so much distracted, what is the reason behind that? Why our mind is so unsteady and uncontrollable? And then, how to control the mind? So here in text 34, Arjuna is further describing Chanchalam hi manah Krishna pramathi balvat dhradam tasyaham nigraham manye vayureva sudushkaram. The mind is restless, turbulent, obstinate, and very strong. So four qualities or the four characteristics of the mind Arjuna is mentioning here. Chanchala, pramathi, balvat, dridham. Okay, so these are the four characteristics. It's restless, it's turbulent, it's obstinate, and very strong. And Arjuna is further saying, Tasyaham nigraham manye vayureva sudushkaram. To subdue the mind is very difficult. I can control the wind. So Arjuna is saying, for me, controlling the wind is easy. Controlling the mind is even more difficult than controlling the wind. That is the nature of the mind. So Chanchala means childlike restlessness. Pramati means mad. Okay, Balavat means strong. Dridham, obstinate. So mind is restless like a child. A child naturally cannot sit at one place. If mother gives some toy to the child and say, okay, sit here and play. Let me do some work. Okay, let me finish my cooking or laundry or something, and you sit here and play. The child does not sit there quietly. Child will run here, child will run there. More you try to tell the child, you sit here quietly, more the child will run here and there. So sometime the child may get into some innocent small troubles also. So child mind is also restless like the child, but mind is not just innocent like child. A child is innocent. Under innocence, child may do some things which may lead him to some trouble. But the mind is, yes, it is like a child, but it is not innocent like a child. The next quality mentioned is pramati. It's turbulent, mad, it can get into some big troubles, like a mad person, right, who is mentally sick, mentally retarded person may sometime assume himself to be a military person. They pick up a gun and say, now I will shoot everybody. Everybody is my enemy. So he may pick up a gun and shoot people. And we see many of these instances are related to mental issues, mental sickness. When we see this kind of shooting incidents, right? So these people, they are mentally sick and they just pick up the gun and shoot everybody, considering everybody as their enemy. So our mind is also like that. Mind is mad and it can lead us into big troubles. And then the third characteristic is balavat. Mind is very strong. Once a thought enters into the mind, it just holds on to that. It does not let it go. It is very strong. And dridam means it's obstinate. Obstinate means doing something after being told not to do it and knowing its bad effect also, but still it want to do that. That is obstinate. So there is a difference between determination and being obstinate. Determination is, yes, doing something for the good result, right? That is determination. I'm very determined to get up early in the morning, do my japa. That is determination for something positive. But obstinacy means doing something for which you are told not to do it, and you know the negative effects, the bad effects also. Still you want to do it. That's obstinacy. So mind is obstinate. So these are the four characteristics which are defined here. Arjuna is saying this mind is turbulent, it's restless, it's bulbat strong, and it's turbulent. So mind is like a haunted house. Okay? The ghosts are our own misdirected desires, and the sanskaras which are created by them, the sanskaras which are stored in our subconscious mind. So mind is like a haunted house with so many ghost-like desires there. And if we want to control the mind, how is that possible? Like if we want to remove the ghost from a place, we need to call some exorcist, and that person will kind of catch the ghost and remove that ghost from that place. So how to control the mind? What is the exorcist needed to control this ghost like mind here? We'll discuss about that. So the nature of mind, first we need to clearly understand the nature of the mind, how the mind tricks us, and then why mind tricks us. Okay, so first, if we can understand that clearly, then we will be able to understand the games of the mind. So mind, we can utilize this acronym also, mind, M-I-N-D. What does M-I-N-D stand for here? M is mind magnifies the problem. Okay, sometimes we may have small problem. Of course, yes, there are problems in life, but the nature of mind is it will magnify the problem. Like a something written very small and you have a magnifying glass. What does the magnifying glass do? It will make that text appear bigger. So same way the mind, it magnifies the problem and it makes the problem appear like a very huge problem. Yes, many times we may have seen some people are describing their problem and they are just speaking, oh, I have this problem, that problem, and you may be feeling, is this really such a big problem? And isn't this person just exaggerating a lot about that? So that is the nature of the mind. It exaggerates the problem. It, like जैसे बोलते हैं राई का पहाड़ बना देना. So it magnifies the problem. Once there was a woman, okay, this Mataji used to be very stressed out, being sad all the time, and they came for a counseling purpose. And Prabhuji, who was giving the counseling, he asked Mataji, so Mataji, what is your problem? Is husband not behaving well with you? Is husband not taking care? She said, no, 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 Prabhuji, my husband is very nice. Mere pati to devta saman hai. he takes care of me very nicely. There is no problem at all. Okay, then maybe your kids are troublemakers in Kali Yuga, like Kali Yuga children, they may be troubling a lot. And she said, no, 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 my kids are very nice. They are very obedient children. They behave very nicely. Then what is the problem? Maybe your in-laws, father-in-law, mother-in-law, maybe they are the troublemaker. Of course, parents are parents and in-laws are in-laws. She says, no, 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 Prabhuji, my in-laws are very nice. They love me more than my parents. They take care of me very nicely. So maybe some financial problem. Maybe you have some financial problem going on. No, no, no. Bhagwan ki kripa se we have abundance of everything. We don't have any financial problem also. Then what is the problem? Maybe your health is not keeping well. You are having some health issues. No, no, no. I am very healthy also. So what is the problem? So she said, I was telling my husband that we should try to move abroad. We want to go to USA and settle in USA. But my husband is telling, no, 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 we are here. Okay, we are fine here living in India. Why to go to America and live alone there? I want to go there, but my husband is saying, no, no, we don't want to go there. So that is the reason I am very stressed out, very tensed. So everything is perfectly fine there, no health issue, no financial issue, family is nice, husband is nice, children are nice, but then we pick up one small thing and just magnify that problem. Okay, if I cannot get that, without that my life is useless. So that is the nature of the mind magnifies the problem. And same thing happens is sometime we have some little um, argument with somebody said something, and then mind will keep magnifying that. Why did that person tell me like this? And then sometimes people will say, Arey, there is too much politics going on. Okay, in office there is too much politics going on. Why? Because I propose something and they did not accept my proposal, or there is so much politics. It may just happen that our proposal did not get accepted, maybe based on whatever the situation is, circumstances, but we start analyzing it in so many different angles. So that is magnifying the problem. So the mind magnifies the problem. And then the second thing, I means imagines. Mind imagines the pleasures and pain. Okay, both. Many times there is no scope of pleasure, but mind keep imagining the pleasures. Okay, mind is always taking us to the fantasy land. In college time, many people may have experienced or seen people doing such things, right? The boy is just dreaming about a girl, or the girl is dreaming about the boyfriend and thinking, oh, we will go here, we'll go there, we'll have nice time, have candlelight dinner, then this that, and they just make a whole big dreams together. So just imagining the pleasures. And same thing is with pain also. Sometimes there is no real issue, but just keep imagining the pain. Maybe we heard somebody else's some situation and we start putting ourselves into that situation. Oh, what if I get into that trouble? What if I also get into that sort of issue? Then what will happen? So we just keep imagining things like that. That is the nature of mind. It keeps us in the imagination land, imagining the pleasures also and imagining the pain also. And then min is neglects the responsibility. Okay, mind does not want to accept the responsibility. Many times, let's say you want to get up in the morning and the mind is proposing, hey Prabhuji, sleep little half an hour more. What is the rush? You can take little more rest. Still, you can finish all your morning chores on time and then attend to your other activities. And then if you sleep little longer, half an hour, 45 minutes, 1 hour, and you get up, you have that sense of guilt. And then you're feeling, and then the mind will keep pushing that sense of guilt, right? Hare, you are so fallen. You slept half an hour extra, 1 hour extra. You should have got up. And next time, mind will make us do that again. First, it proposed us to sleep longer. Then it is giving that sense of guilt. And next time, it will again propose us to sleep later. Sleep till late. So that is the nature of the mind, because mind does not accept responsibility. And mind will keep proposing the life will be much better. Just enjoy, relax, eat, sleep, take rest, and just enjoy the life. So it neglects the responsibility. And D is denies the reality. Mind does not want to accept the reality of the life. Mind will keep proposing, yes, if you can get that, you can become happy. If you can avoid this situation, you can escape the suffering. It does not want to accept the reality. What is the reality? There is no permanent happiness in this world. There is always some or other misery going to come. But mind does not want to accept that reality. See, in the movies, what do they show in the movies? There is nothing reality in the movies, right? It's all some mythology, basically. It's all myth. They all these movies which is about the superheroes, Superman, Spider-Man, Iron Man, Steel Man, this man, that man. All these are what? This is all imagination. No matter from somebody may fall from a 100-meter height or even 1,000-meter height, nothing happens to them. Is this anywhere close to reality? Like all these cartoon characters, cartoon movies, what do they show? They just keep hitting each other. Somebody is thrown off or punched or even hit with bullets, also nothing happens. This is far away from reality. And people like to see that because they are so bored with the actual real life scenario. They just want to absorb themselves in this all myth. And in the movies, they show hero, heroine are enjoying, they are singing nice songs and on a very nice scenery, nice fancy location, some shooting in New Zealand, Australia, Spain, Germany, and all that. One song they shot one stanza in four different part of the world. Uh, is that anywhere reality? Husband wife together spending some time, will they have a singing a song at four different locations like that? And they will show a heroine in a very cold weather filled with snow covered hills, and she is not wearing any jacket or coat or anything. So people like to see all this because they don't want to accept the reality. And this is what mind is proposing. Mind does not want to accept reality. If we really want to see the reality, somebody should visit the cremation ground. Somebody should visit the hospital and see how much suffering, how much pain is there in this world. People want to imagine um, happy ever after. There is nothing like that happy ever after. And they lived happily ever after. Because padam padam yada vipadam. In this material world, there is always one danger or another. But our mind is always keeping us in an imagination land, imagining the pleasures or the pain. So that is the nature of the mind. MIND. If you can remember that, magnify is the problem. It imagines the pleasures and the pain. It neglects the responsibility and it denies the reality. And after knowing the nature of the mind, what are we supposed to do? How we can control the mind? And first, why the mind does all those sort of distractions? The mind is like a television. We can consider our mind like a television. Like on a TV, there are so many different channels there. You can push a button and change the channel, put a different channel. So same way our mind is also showing us TV. It keep changing different channels. You sit for chanting, then mind is showing you one channel. You are seeing some scene. Arey, why this person said that to me? Then you have another channel. Arey, wow, they are building a nice tall building here, nice flooring. And then you put another channel. Arey, I need to finish this chore. I need to send this message. This urgent message need to go out. Mind is always showing us different channels, and we need to switch off the television of the mind and come in the past, come in the present. Right now mind is flying on the two wings. These two wings are the past wing and the future wing. Like a bird has two wings, so our mind has two wings, the past wing and future wing. In the past, there is always lamentation about something in the past. and then hankering for the future. Okay, lamenting for the past. Why did this happen to me? Why did I do this? If I could have done something differently, maybe my life situation will be different right now. Or hankering for the future, insecurity for the future. What is tension? How do you define tension? Anybody?
Worrying about our insecurities,
Okay,
our shortcomings.
worrying about our insecurities, shortcomings. Okay,
Hare
anybody
Krishna.
else?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dhanavad Prabhuji. It's like two forces are pulling us apart. Like one like mind is want to do something, but we want to do something, and it's pulling us.
Yes. So two forces pulling us apart, causing the tension. That's a physical definition also, right? You pull something on two different directions, so that causes tension or stress in that object. So our mind is also pulling us in different directions, causing that tension or stress. Anybody else?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, the things which are not in our control and we are still trying to bring there in our control, that time we develop the tension.
Okay. The things which are not in control, trying to bring in our control, which leads to tension. Okay. So all these are good definitions. And see, tension is something, fear of the abstract. Okay, fear of something which has not happened. It's just thinking about something. What if this happens? What if that happens? So fear of the unknown, that leads to this tension. And then tension further leads to anxiety, depression. Okay, and under anxiety, under depression, and people commit so many other wrong actions also, leading up to the level of committing suicides also. This is all because of anxiety, depression, which started with tension, fear of something unknown. Okay. So our mind is always flying on these two wings, sometime going in the past, sometime running to the future, lamenting about the past, hankering for the future. And mind does not want to stay on the present. Okay, as we said, mind always imagines the pains or pleasures. It neglects the responsibility, it denies the reality. So it does not want to stay in the present. And if we want to control the mind, we need to we need to cut these two wings of the mind, running to past or future, and bring the mind to present. And mind also can be compared to a monkey. Generally, we give the analogy of a monkey. Monkey is always, what is the nature of the monkey? Monkey is always looking for sense enjoyment. Monkey is jumping here and there. Monkey cannot sit quietly at one place on one branch. Sometimes it's jumping to one branch to another, or from one tree to another tree, looking for sense enjoyment. So that is, our mind is like monkey mind. Okay. First of all, it is looking for sense enjoyment. Then it is intoxicated with pride. I'm such a big shot. I have this or that. I am so handsome or so intelligent or this or that. So it's intoxicated with pride. Then burning with ego and envy from others. So that is the nature of the mind. As I said, sometime I gave this example. Just imagine a monkey who is so restless. Monkey by nature is restless. And then if that monkey is intoxicated, it will become even more restless. And then if that monkey is bitten by a scorpio, then what will be the situation of that monkey? Will be even more restless. And if you put the tail of the monkey on fire, then what will happen to that monkey? So just imagine that scene. Monkey intoxicated, bitten by a scorpio, tail on fire. The situation of that monkey, situation of our mind is like that. So our mind is restless like anything. And now monkey, can the monkey be trained or not? Even though monkey is very restless, but monkey can be trained, isn't it? We see the Madari, what do you call that Madari? The Madari, he can control the monkey. Monkey is doing whatever that Madari is telling. But it's not that anybody or everybody can control that monkey. Monkey can be controlled, monkey can be trained by an expert guide. Monkey can be only trained by somebody expert. So same way, our mind can be controlled, but it needs expert guidance. So in text 35, now Krishna is answering Arjuna's question or Arjuna's response about the nature of the mind. So Krishna is saying, yes, O mighty armed son of Kunti, it is undoubtedly very difficult to curb this restless mind, but it is possible by suitable practice and by detachment. Abhyasa vairagyen. So with practice and with detachment, it is possible to control the mind. Now, let's see. So we discuss the nature of the mind. What is the nature of the mind? And why the mind is so restless, or why our mind distracts us so much. Let's talk about that. The distraction of the mind is because of our wrong identification. The mind wanders because of our wrong identification, because we have been identifying ourselves with wrong things. If somebody thinks I'm boy, then the thought goes towards the girl. If somebody thinks I'm Indian, then mind goes on some Indian things, Indian politics, and some other situation in that place in that country. If somebody thinks I'm woman, then mind goes on some problem related to woman exploitation or woman disrespect or something like that. So our mind goes on all these various thoughts based on where we identify ourselves. So the root cause of the problem is our wrong identification, because we have been identifying ourselves with this body, with particular place and circumstance. And because of that, our mind is wandering to all these various things. And that's why the first knowledge which Krishna gives in Bhagavad Gita is you are not the body, but you are the spirit soul. If we understand our real identity, and then we act based on that identification, then it becomes easy to control the mind. Okay, so the main problem is why the mind wanders is because of wrong identification. So far, we have been identifying ourselves with the wrong objects, wrong identity. And we have been going through so many different lifetimes because of that wrong identification. So by understanding our real identity, we can control the mind and bring the mind to the right object. If I consider my identification is I am the spirit soul, I am part and parcel of Krishna, I belong to Krishna. So rather than thinking I am this person who want to enjoy these various things, but then you change that identification. Oh, I belong to Krishna, I am Krishna's. In that way, you change your consciousness and your thought process. So problem is wrong identification. And how to control the mind? First of all, we should understand we ourselves may not be able to control the mind. We can control the mind only with the blessings of the Supreme Lord, with the mercy of the Supreme Lord. And if somebody has a controlled mind, that person can receive the mercy of the Lord. So then it becomes like a circle. So once we have the controlled mind, then we receive the mercy of the Lord. Or to receive or to control the mind, we need the mercy of the Lord. Actually, both. To control the mind also, we need the mercy of the Lord. And once the mind is controlled, then we receive further mercy of the Lord, and it becomes easy for us to progress in bhakti. To control the mind, also, we need to engage in the process of bhakti. But when our mind is controlled, then the progress in bhakti becomes much more easy. Just like if you want to do the new paint in your house, okay, to first do the new paint, first you have to remove that old paint. Right? In the old paint, right now the paint has scratched off at so many different places. If you ask somebody for the paint job in your house, right, so the painting guys come and first they will be sanding off the walls, right, removing the old paint. So to remove that old paint, to sand off all those wall, it is so much time consuming to prepare the walls for the new paint. And once that sanding is done, then doing that new paint becomes very easy. That can be done very fast. It's big, they have big rollers and they can paint it very easily and nicely, very quickly. So first removing that old paint, sanding off that old paint is a big time consuming task. So same way, removing that old conditioning of the mind, removing that all the junk which is there in the mind, the dust which has accumulated in the mind, to remove that, it's much time consuming. And once the wrong tendencies has been removed from the mind, then it becomes much easier and quicker for us to progress in bhakti. So by the process of bhakti, first we remove that old conditionings. And first to understand that yes, my mind is not controlled, that is also we realize only when we come in the process of bhakti. Before coming in the process of bhakti, maybe we did not even realize that yes, my mind is so turbulent, my mind is so restless, isn't it? When we came in the process of bhakti, then we started to realize that mind is causing so many troubles, mind is so restless, I am so fallen person, I have so many problems, I have problem of anger issue, and so much of greed and lust and all these envy and all these different things. When we come to the process of bhakti, then first of all we realize that yes, I do have these problems. So coming in the engaging in the process of bhakti, first we are removing this conditioning, the negative tendencies, trying to control the mind. And once somebody has that mind controlled, then progressing in bhakti becomes much more easy. And how to control the mind? Now coming to the point of how to control the mind, Krishna is saying by abhyas, by detachment, by practice and detachment. So what is this practice and what is this detachment? So I will give multiple points here. So point number one, mind can be controlled with the help of intelligence, which is sharpened by spiritual knowledge. Because superior than mind is intelligence. Okay, but if the mind is so powerful, the intelligence actually becomes slave to the mind. Intelligence is also surrendering in front of the mind and telling, okay, you please order me what you want, I will make plans to fulfill your demands. So intelligence has become slave to the mind, and intelligence will say, you want to enjoy in this way, don't worry, I will make plans secretly so nobody will know that you are doing this bad thing. So intelligence helps actually for somebody whose mind is not controlled. And if we want to control the mind with the help of intelligence, that intelligence need to be sharpened by spiritual knowledge, not just material knowledge. Because otherwise, all these big scientists, engineers, doctors, they also have a lot of material knowledge, but still their minds are not controlled. So how to control the mind? When we sharpen our intelligence with spiritual knowledge. And that spiritual knowledge is, I am not the body, I am the spirit soul. So equipping our intelligence with that spiritual knowledge, and also Once we understand that real identity, I am not this body, I am the spirit soul, and then training the mind that all the sense enjoyment which mind is hankering for, ultimately it leads to misery. Mind is attached to sense enjoyment, but we need to train the mind based on that spiritual knowledge that all this sense enjoyment ultimately leads to misery. Krishna already explained that in 522. Krishna is saying, Yehi samsparsha bhoga dukh yone evate adhantyantavant konte anateshu ramate buddha. So all the sense enjoyment ultimately leads to misery. And an intelligent person does not take part in the source of misery. So we need to constantly train our mind. That is abhyas, practice, right? We need to constantly practice that. We need to constantly speak this to our mind. All this sense enjoyment ultimately leads to misery. I will tell you a very interesting story. Once there was a king, and this king wanted to find out in his kingdom if there is somebody fully peaceful and happy. King is thinking, I have all these opulences and I'm still hankering. I'm lamenting for certain things. I'm hankering for certain things. I'm not at peace. Is there anybody in my kingdom who is completely peaceful and satisfied? So the king, along with his minister, they were roaming around in the kingdom, and they came across at a place. They saw one brahmana who is very poor person, does not have much. He's living with his wife in a small hut, and this brahmana seems to be very peaceful and satisfied. And the king, when he saw this brahmana in a peaceful happy situation, he thought, this brahmana does not have anything and still he is peaceful, satisfied. I have all these opulences, still I am not at peace. What is the reason? The minister said, because this brahmana has not joined the 99 club. What is this 99 club? He said, I will prove you by example. So this minister, he dropped a kind of a bag in front of the house of this brahmana, the bag filled with gold coins. So this brahmana, he saw this bag and he opened the bag. There are gold coins. He started counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99. So there were 99 gold coins. And this brahmana got this 99 gold coins and he showed it to his wife also. And he thought, maybe somebody was supposed to give 100 gold coins. There is one less. If there were 100 gold coins, then we could very proudly tell others that we also own 100 gold coins. It is one gold coin short of 100. So I want to do something so that we can complete the 100 gold coins. So he went to a kind of a rich merchant person and he told, what do I have to do to gain one gold coin? He said, if you work for me 6 hours every day, shifting this bags of uh, different objects from one place to another, so carrying these bags from one place to another 6 hours a day for 1 month, then I will pay you one gold coin. So this brahmana said, okay, definitely I will do that. I want to gain that one more gold coin so I can claim I own 100 gold coins. So he worked very hard for 1 month, and at the end of 1 month, this merchant, he gave him one gold coin. So he brought this one gold coin back, put in another bag, and he started counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98. Counted again and again, 98. There was one less earlier. Now I added one, but it is too short now. Only 98. So he asked his wife, what happened? I already put one more gold coin, but now it's only 98. The wife said, actually, I went to the market and I saw one nice Banarasi sari, so I wanted to buy that sari. I bought some sari and some other sweets, so I spent 2 gold coins. So now we have 98. And this Brahman said, oh, I have to earn 2 more gold coins now. He again went back to that businessman, that merchant, and told what I have to do to gain 2 gold coins. So 12 hours For 1 full month, every day, if you spend 12 hours working hard, I will pay you 2 gold coins. So this Brahmana said, no matter what I have to do, I want to gain those 2 more gold coins. So now he's just struggling hard and hard. His life, which happened to be so much peaceful, satisfied, became miserable now. And the minister told the king, see, this is the 99 club. So he has lost all his peace and satisfaction, and he has become miserable. His life has become miserable. So when somebody has certain things in life and they're not satisfied with those things, that lead to misery. Somebody is continuously thinking, hankering for certain things. I want to enjoy this way, that way. Mind is continuously proposing, if you can gain this one more thing, you can become happy. Okay, that is the tricks of the mind which keeps the person entangled. So we need to constantly train our mind based on the knowledge from the scriptures, that spiritual knowledge, that ultimately all the sources of sense enjoyment, they lead to misery. There is no real happiness in this world. Ultimately, all happiness, all enjoyment leads to frustration and misery. And then to control that mind, we need to stop looking back in the past. Stop looking back in the past. As I said, we need to cut off those 2 wings of past and future, looking back in the past or jumping into the future. What will happen 10 years from now, 15 years from now? So we need to stop looking back in the past. Another very small story to illustrate this point. Once there was a boy, and earlier he used to go to the pubs and casinos, drink and dance and all that. And somehow he came to the process of bhakti. Now he started coming to the temple. He started associating with the devotees. He chanting the holy name and going on sankirtan or book distribution with the devotees. And once, as he was passing by a place along with certain other devotees, he happened to pass in front of a pub. So he walked by in front of the pub, and as he walked by, he continuously keep looking back. He was remembering his past. So I used to visit this pubs and casinos. And as he is moving forward, while looking back, he bumped into something. Okay, this is what happens sometimes if you are not looking straight while walking and bump into something. So the other devotee told him, don't look back. Okay, just look straight, look in the front. And that is a very important instruction. While moving forward in bhakti, don't look back. Don't look in the past. Or in general also in life, don't look back in the past. Whatever has happened in the past, that has happened. There is nothing we can do about the past. Only thing in our control is the present, what we want to do in the present. That's why we say being in the present. Okay, rather than wandering in the past or future, be in the present moment. So to control the mind, we need to stop looking again and again back into the past, remembering those past painful experiences or the past pleasure moments also, because mind continuously keep imagining based on those past impressions stored in the mind. See, in Vrindavan, if you are walking on sometime Vrindavan street, there will be small pebbles, stones there, right? If you're walking barefoot, some small stone, some pebble will come in your foot, and you have to be very careful walking on in Vrindavan streets so that these stones, pebbles don't prick your feet. Now, why does Krishna put those pebbles on the paths there? Okay, somebody very beautifully said, Krishna has put those pebbles intentionally there, so we are very carefully walking. So we are not distracted. If the path is very smooth, you are walking on a very nice smooth path, what will happen then? You will start looking here and there, being very complacent about the situation, and you will be distracted with many things. So that's why sometime there are these pebbles and we need to be very focused on that path. Same way in bhakti also, We want to be very focused, not get distracted by some of our past experiences or the dictations of the mind. Many times people leave the process of bhakti because of the mind. So example is, as I said, mind magnifies the problem. Sometimes there will be a small instance, somebody just said something little bit, and the mind magnifies it so much, we start thinking, oh, I don't want to stay here, I don't want to live here continuously, I don't want to continue in the association of these devotees, I will just give up everything and I will leave this bhakti. So mind is a big troublemaker. So that is the different detachments which we need to follow by stopping the mind, going again and again back in the past, training the mind to detach it from sense enjoyment. And then the positive practice. What is the positive practice that we need to do? That process of Navada Bhakti, engaging the mind in the process of Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam. By engaging in chanting the holy name. What is chanting? Chanting is calling out the holy names of Krishna. Mantra, man trayate iti mantra. By process of chanting, we can control this mind. See, for the body, there are so many different, for the treatment of the body, there are so many hospitals. But for the treatment of the mind, what is the hospital for the treatment of the mind? मन को समझाने के लिए, मन को ठीक करने के लिए कौन सा हॉस्पिटल है? That is मंदिर, right? Temples. The purpose of temple is to control the mind, where the mind is engaged in all these different activities in the process of Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam. And in that way, if we engage our mind positively, then we can control this mind. And we have to remember, we cannot control the mind on our own. We can control the mind on the strength of Krishna. And when we chant the holy name, through chanting, we try to seek the mercy of Krishna. And with the mercy, with the strength of Krishna, then we can try to control the mind. Why? Because ultimately, mind is Krishna's energy. And who can control Krishna's energy? Krishna himself. In 7th chapter, it will come. Right? What are the different elements? This all the 5 elements, then mind, intelligence, false ego, all these are the separate energies of Krishna. So we can control the mind only on the strength of Krishna. And that is by engaging the mind in chanting the holy name, by hearing about Krishna, by remembering Krishna. So in the beginning, I said mind is like a haunted house and we need a expert exorcist. And that exorcist is Krishna. Krishna is the ultimate exorcist, which can both externally and internally control this mind and kind of remove this misdirected desires from our ghost-like mind, the haunted home-like mind. So if we really want to control the mind, what are the different steps we discussed? In a summary, we need to engage in, we need to practice and detach, right? 2 things, practice and detach. What is the detachment? Detachment is detaching the mind from sense objects, sense enjoyment, by sharpening the intelligence with spiritual knowledge, detaching the mind from going into the past and future, then detaching the mind based on the right identification, understanding our right identification. Right now we are identifying ourselves with the wrong identification. And then positive practice, that is practicing to chant the holy name, practice to hear about Krishna, remember Krishna, and practice that I am part of Krishna. I belong to Krishna. So with this practice, then on the strength of Krishna, we can try to control the mind. Ultimately, if we say this body is like the hardware and mind is like the software. Okay, if you have a computer, in the computer you have very nice hardware. You have a 16 GB RAM and 1 terabyte hard disk and very nice looking outer skin, outer covering of the laptop. Everything is nice. The hardware is very nice. But if the software inside that hardware, that Windows, your Windows 11 or whatever Windows is there, that window is corrupted, or your other software is corrupted, there is some malware, some virus is there, then even though all the hardware is very nice, but that laptop will not function properly. On the other side, if your hardware is very basic, okay, is not very extraordinary, but your software is working fine, your software is nice, you can still do the meaningful task, right? You can still operate your laptop with the basic hardware, but the software is working, functioning properly. You can still make your Word document, PowerPoint and whatnot. Maybe you cannot do some fancy stuff of some high profile video gaming or something, but you can do the basic things done. The same way, our body is like the hardware. If somebody is focusing too much on the body, somebody is going to the gym and working hard to build the body, six packs and whatnot, but their mind is not controlled. There is so much virus in the mind. There is so much of negative thinking, negative thoughts in the mind. That mind will cause havoc. So we need to fix this software. And that software is this mind. So we need to fix this mind. We need to cleanse this mind from all these negative thoughts, negative impressions which are stored in the mind. And these negative impressions stored in the mind is like subconscious mind. If whatever we are doing, ultimately it's building the impressions in the subconscious mind. And right now you may not be intentionally trying to do something, but the subconscious mind forces us to do certain things. So subconscious mind got those impressions based on what was repeatedly done. So same way now, if we want to remove those negative impressions for the mind, if we continuously do the positive things now, so those positive repetitions will erase those negative impressions from the subconscious mind and fill the subconscious mind now with the positive impressions. So all the negative impressions will slowly drain out and it will build the positive impressions in the subconscious mind. And that is possible only by repetition. So that's why Krishna is saying abhyas, practice, continuously practice to remember, I am not this body, I'm the spirit soul, I belong to Krishna. Sense enjoyment leads to misery. I don't want to indulge in sense enjoyment. I don't want to indulge in going into the past and present, future. I don't want to wander into the hankering and lamentation cycle. So that is practice. So practice and detachment leads to controlling the mind. So this is what Krishna is talking about, the mind control here. It is possible. It is not an impossible task, but it needs the superior guidance. Okay? That's why Krishna is telling us to take shelter of a guru, take the proper guidance who can tell us what practice we should do to subdue this mind, subdue this enemy. Because enemy is not outside, actually enemy is inside. That mind is our worst enemy if it is uncontrolled, and that mind can become our best friend if it is controlled. So if somebody is very intelligent and his mind is uncontrolled, that will lead to big destruction. But if the mind becomes controlled, then that intelligence can be used in a positive way. All these what do you call the cyber crime? These what is the word used here? The identity theft and what all these kind of things happen. These people are also very intelligent, right? They have a very strong intelligence, and they are utilizing that intelligence because their minds are not directed in the positive way, constructive way. So they are causing so much damage to the society. So intelligence with uncontrolled mind leads to big destruction. So we need to control our minds, bring it under our control to engage in a positive, constructive way. So controlling the mind, once the mind is controlled, then progress in bhakti to receive the mercy of Krishna becomes much more easier, and one can progress on a fast track in bhakti. So we'll stop here and continue text 36 onwards in the next session. Srimad Bhagavad Gita Ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Let's see if there are any questions, comments.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Rajguru.
Prabhu, like, can you explain more once again about obstinate?
Obstinate. Yeah, so I described the 4 characteristics of the mind: restless, turbulent, strong, and obstinate. Okay. So obstinate is when it wants to do certain things, when it is told not to do it, and once it is being told that there is danger there are negative, it will lead to negative result, still it want to do it. That's called obstinacy. Okay, like you tell your child that don't put your hand in the fire, it will burn your hand, but the child still want to put the hand in the fire. That's called obstinacy. So doing something after being told not to do it, and knowing the bad effect also, that it will lead to some negative consequence, still trying to do that. That's obstinacy.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay, anything else?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Vijay Prabhu.
Sorry, I just joined the class late, Prabhuji. I think next time onwards it will be on time. But when I was discussing that, subconscious mind, I just had one small doubt on that. Many people keep saying that, a lot of things happen during the subconscious stage. I just want to know this. We have something, the reptilian brain or something, a small. So, is the function of that to record this all subconscious thing, or is it the main brain? I mean, I just had some
Okay. So
doubt on that.
first of all, mind and brain, 2 different things. Okay, the science has not come closer to understanding what is mind and intelligence, difference between the mind and intelligence. They think mind and intelligence is one and same thing, and all the most we try to relate it to the physical organ, which is called brain. Okay, but mind is nothing as what we call as brain. Where is mind residing in the body? Do we think our mind is residing here? Mind is residing along with the soul. Where is the soul? Soul is sitting in the core of the heart.
part of art.
Yeah, so that is where the mind and intelligence resides, along with the soul. And when we do that, when Krishna is explaining about this Ashtanga Yoga process, right, when we talk about controlling the breathing, the life air. So when the Ashtanga Yogi or anybody, when they practice the pranayam system, deep breathing, inhale, right, inhale through the nose, then hold it, and then release it through the nose. What is happening? We are controlling our ingoing air and outgoing air. What is happening? We are trying to lift the soul in the upward position. And along with that, the mind is getting lifted to the upward position and coming from the lower modes to the higher modes, coming from the mode of ignorance to the bringing it to the mode of sattva. And when the mind comes in the mode of sattva, that leads to the peace of mind. Because when the mind is in tamas and rajas, mind is more distracted, and it leads to the distraction of the mind and so much of stress and anxiety kind of things. And as mind comes more in sattva, it leads to peace of mind. That's why pranayam also, when people practice pranayam, asana, that also clarifies the mind and it leads to some sense of peace. Okay? Because mind is lifting in a higher situation. So the point I was saying is mind, one, we should not relate to the mind that this is what we call as brain, that mind is here. Mind is next to the soul. Okay? And mind is the storehouse of all the thoughts, like our hard disk. Hard disk, you can keep filling the data in the hard disk. That the hard disk has capacity of 1 terabyte, 5 terabyte, or whatever. So you can put so much data in the hard disk. So our mind is storing so much data, and because of so much data stored, so much impressions are there. That's why sometimes mind will throw certain emotions, certain desires, willings in that is coming from the subconscious mind. That's what we call as a subconscious mind. So conscious mind and subconscious mind. Consciously is that you are doing something consciously. Unconsciously is you did not think about it. It just you acted on that something, right? That is based on subconscious mind. Sometimes being triggered by a certain circumstance, like people will speak something, right? Without thinking about it, they say some words. From where it is coming? From the subconscious mind. So our mind is like a big hard disk with so much of data stored. Now in that hard disk, there is so much of bad data there. But from the hard disk, can we remove the bad data? We can, right? Isn't it? From the hard disk, you can erase the bad data, right? The same way from the mind, we can remove those negative impressions, that bad data which is there in the mind, with continuous practice and detachment. We can remove those negative impressions. We can wipe out that old bad data and fill it with the new data, the new impressions. And that is possible by the practice, by the process of practice and detachment. That's why Krishna is saying, yes, mind can be controlled with practice and detachment. So the overall process of mind control involves removing the previous wrong impressions and building the new positive impressions. That is about mind control. If we have to say mind control in one sentence, mind control means removing the negative impressions from the mind and building the new positive impressions. And what are those new positive impressions? That is our real identification, that I am not the body, I am the spirit soul, I belong to Krishna. So the impressions of Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam.
And Prabhuji, all this, they say consciousness, and it percolates through all the cells. I mean, that is through the soul only it goes, all this.
Yes, that is through the soul. Because of the presence of soul, the consciousness flows throughout the body. And how the consciousness flows throughout the body is different physical phenomena, right? Through the blood or whatever different things are there through the nerve system. So, but it is possible only because of presence of soul. That's how the consciousness flows throughout the body. If the soul is not present, the blood is still maybe there, then all the nerves are still there, but still there is no consciousness, right? One cannot feel anything. If somebody pinches or something, you cannot feel anything. As long as soul is present in the body, that the sensation is there. So ultimately, the consciousness flows throughout the body because of the presence of soul.
And just one more last. I was, one fact it says that if we put one after another all the nerves in a body, it is in lakhs of kilometers. It can
Yes,
go up. Yeah, uh, it is so astonishing that how can it can fit. This fine nerves can fit, and so much of huge distance inside the body. It's just a miracle, I would say. I mean,
of course.
just
The body is a miracle. Every limb of the body is a miracle. The eye retina is a miracle. They say
yeah,
the retina of the eye is more complex than any modern industry in the world. It's more complex than a full industry.
right, right.
So now,
Mind
not
is
I don't want to go into all the scientific discussion here.
okay, Prabhuji. Okay, sorry, but mind is not anything physical. I mean, it is not
Oh,
physical. It's just subtle. I would say subtle.
yeah, it's a subtle entity. That's why in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna talks about the physical elements of the body and the subtle elements of the body. Right? The physical elements are earth, water, fire, air, ether. Those are the physical elements of the body. And then the mind, intelligence, false ego. Those are the subtle elements. Shuksham Sharir, and the other one is called Sthul Sharir. Okay, so Suksham Sharir, Sathul Sharir. Sthul Sharir means the gross elements, earth, water, fire, air, ether. Suksham Sharir means the subtle elements, the subtle body. Subtle body is the mind, intelligence, false ego, and the soul.
Prabhuji, last one. Earth, water, fire, and earth,
Air,
water, fire,
uh,
and air.
air,
That will
air,
always,
ether.
yeah. Ether is one thing which is slightly non-perceptible or not.
Yeah, it's
Um,
like vacuum, sky.
okay. So how can we classify that as a part of element? Like we can feel in this one. We can
Yeah,
feel
so
all.
the sound can travel because of ether element only. If there is no ether element, the sound cannot travel through our body. We know the sound is coming out, right? That is because of the presence of ether.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay, so we'll stop here unless somebody has any burning question. Okay, thank you everyone. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.